Okay, pedestrians, here we are, April 11th. We had a nice heat wave. It's gonna get to be about 90 degrees today. It was 90 degrees yesterday. And some of these fig trees have died due to the heat. I have these nice little coverings out here on my east facing wall. So there's some sunlight that is getting onto them. Some of them are growing really good and some of them not so good. But here's the partridge eye, which is right there. It's growing pretty good. And Smith fig looks like it's stalling out a little bit. A black unknown fig that's back there. Bourget gris. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. And this one definitely got some, there's a Tia Pena heat exhaustion there. But I came out here and I watered them all pretty well because they were mostly very dry. Here's a couple of others. Here's another grease. But it's such a thick cutting. I'm just gonna keep lightly watering it until I can see if I can revive it. This one might totally be toast. I think I repotted or up-potted this one. Yeah, Fig Hunters 455. But soil feels nice and warm. Some of these in the back here, this one got crispy crittered because of the heat. I think the watering is gonna help, and also some of these guys are still alive. So it's hit and miss with some of these. Some of these others lost all their leaves with the heat, so I'm trying to keep them protected. In terms of growing these guys, look at that, yes. So new growth is always good, but some of these look like they are toast. These were the ones that I started in January, and they all started to grow pretty darn good. Some of them have kind of struggled and then come back. I'm being very inconsistent with the watering and trying not to overwater. But yesterday, I think because I didn't water very much and it was 90 degrees, even underneath this cover, it really affected a lot of those fig trees. So I need to be more consistent, especially with these smaller pots. The bigger pots I can be less consistent with because there's just more room for them to grow. And now I'm gonna move down to the ones downstairs are not surviving very well. It's not, I'm just not very good at this, I guess. But if I have a bare root tree and I plant it in the ground, I have no problem with it. Or keeping citrus in pots, you know, it's hit and miss, but these figs, man alive, very temperamental when you're doing a start. Once they're more established, they're great to have around, but this is some tricky stuff, at least for me. Some of you out there that are doing this is like, gosh, this guy's a freaking idiot. Why can't he get it right? And that is an excellent question. I do not know. All right, let's go down to the other ones. Here we are on the back side of the house underneath the deck. There is not very much direct sun that comes onto these, especially during the day, but in the evening time, the sun will come in a little bit lower and hit part of these, but it's for about 10 or 15 minutes, not too bad. These are the ones that I got from Mark. He started them in the greenhouse, started them really late in terms of the cuttings. He got the cuttings a couple of weeks ago, but a lot of good green growth here. And if I lift on it, I mean, it is solid. There's definitely some good roots. There's a black mission, there's a cadota, there's roots there and there. This one is the yellow long neck. And again, I'm pulling up and they feel well established in there. Oh, this one, not so much. Phenomenal, petite negra. No roots on that whatsoever. So maybe I need to go through here. Yeah, some of these have good root structure on them. But we were afraid because he was afraid that because he started them so late, they wouldn't root or be successful, but Black Mission seems to be doing pretty good. These are some other starts that I've experimented with. Black Moderna, grapevine. It feels nice and rooted, but the new growth has started to die, I think, just because I hadn't watered it for a while. And this is a hardy kiwi that is starting to spring back. This was an old growth, the only leaf that was left, but now it's getting some more nodes that are starting. Now, these are some older ones that have died back. I have a couple that are still holding on, but I'm trying to stimulate more root growth, even though there's no real new green growth. I'm hoping that off to the side, because they're well rooted, I'm hoping off to the side that some green growth will come out of the ground. That's my intention for it. This group have been on a heat mat, but they've been outside since temperatures were 40 degrees or higher, and they've actually grown pretty good. All of them have started to grow, and I am bottom watering these. They look a little wet because I just came out here and sprayed them, but if I lift up, they're relatively heavy. Most of the growth is on the bottom part. Here is the unknown fig variety. Oh, that's not a good sign. Should probably try to up pot that, but if I pull this one out, yeah, these were started a month ago. 224, no, more than a month ago. If we look at the root structure, that's some good rooting right there. Okay, that's not a good color. I don't think it is, but it's time to up pot this, but this is a 100 South fig. I'll figure out the variety after I grow it a little bit longer. It was a good fig. I think it was a honey fig. But anyways, this group was on the heat mat. So at night, it was staying at about 80 degrees. And during the day, we've been hitting 80 degrees. So they've been doing pretty good. These have not been on the heat mat and have been growing pretty good. And those have not been on the heat mat. I just brought these outside yesterday because my daughter, I couldn't use her room anymore. She wanted to reorganize some things. But if you look at the growth from this side over, these varieties I planted the beginning of March. So yeah, these are a little bit over about 6 weeks old, but all of them have some green growth. And when I lift up on it, they are well established. And I did bottom watering for this too. If you look at the bottom, there is no water that is down there. And after reading and watching some videos in terms of when do you bottom water and how much do you bottom water, they said whenever they start to feel light. So when I come over here and pick this up, that is a pretty heavy in terms of weight. This one is all the way down there. So it's getting a lot more moisture on it from the bottom watering than some of these others, but they're pretty darn heavy. So I'm waiting about a week and a half to 2 weeks before I water these again. And as stated before, these are all planted about halfway down in those 4x9 pots. So the water is not soaking up into stick, which I think is why these are so successful, is because I am bottom watering. I'm not soaking the trees too much, the starts too much, whereas all these other ones, I was top watering, and I feel like it was hard. I'm gonna post another video. I probably already have it posted, but basically pulling these out, showing the root system and seeing if they have rotted because of overwatering. And that has been the case, is it looks like I'm overwatering, but if you look at this is not even moist at all. You can hear it's crunchy. It's not really moist. I go further down and it starts to get moist, but not wet. So not at any time are these things like sopping wet. There's a good draining soil. So I don't know what's going on or why they're dying or anything, but maybe I'll get it figured out hopefully soon. All right, that's the update that I have for all of these fig trees. Hopefully I will get some of these growing and planted in the ground so that I can really take care of these trees. Starts, for some reason, they're a tricky thing for me, but I'm determined. I will get it. Out of the 100 and some odd starts, I probably have maybe 50. So a third of the starts that I did actually made it. And some of these are very expensive varieties, very expensive. The other thing that I've learned is don't count your successes too soon, because these were ones that I thought were very successful. And so I up potted them, going from the fig pot method to this. And they just, like, there's a blue provenance. Maybe it's holding on. I don't know. There's a little bit of green growth there down towards the base. I don't know, people. I'm trying. we'll see if I succeed. But I want to show you my successes and my failures and hopefully try to figure out a way to manage these a little bit better. I know I'm never going to do the fig pot method again. And I think I'm going to just do this bottom watering stuff and really figure that out instead of the weight. I've tried the weight method and it seems to be overwatering. I'm not ultra precise on the weight method, but the bottom watering I think is really working out for me, and hopefully when they get more established or larger, so like these guys, I'm gonna up pot them probably this next week into a 1 gallon and see if they're more successful, go through the dying stuff and see if I can get some of these starts to really hold on. All right, I hope that info is beneficial. If not, that really sucks. Okay, party on, people.